You are looking live at Darling Stadium to the Phoebus High School Marching Band. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for the game between the Phoebus Phantoms and the Bethel Bruins. A huge matchup tonight. One of these teams will possibly move on to postseason play. The loser very likely may not, Bob.
It's a very important game. Phoebus has got 2 losses. Bethel has 1. Hampton has none. Hampton is already going to make it in. But one of these 2 teams hopes to make it in the playoffs. Tim, the key tonight is going to be the offensive line. The offensive line play for both teams will dictate how the pressing game is going to, how the passing game will go, and how the running game will go. Phoebus has got 2 great runners in Torrey Edge and T.J. Carrington. Bethel on the other side has got Michael Jackson, who's a good runner, and of course, as Jerome Young said, the golden boy, Bubba Chuck, Allen Iverson. So great matchup.
Tremendous matchup between the 5-2 in the district, 6-2 overall Phoebus Phantoms, led by head coach Bill D, and the Bethel Bruins, 6-1 in the district, 7-1 overall, led by Dennis Kozlowski. Right now, we invite you to join us for the playing of our national anthem. That is the Bethel High School Marching Band, who has played our national anthem, a very fine rendition. And of course, that's kind of unique in the sense that this is a Phoebus home game. So you might have expected the Phoebus High School Marching Band to perform.
Well, what they've been doing in the games is the opposing team's band plays the national anthem, and then the home team performs at halftime, and it's kind of a trade-off, and it's good. That way both bands get a little bit of exposure.
And with that in mind, we do invite you to stay tuned for the halftime program, which will be live tonight, and we will have that for you. Makina Perry will be your hostess here at halftime of this game between Phoebus and Bethel. Getting back to the game at hand, Phoebus, of course, coming off what could be considered to be a devastating loss to the Denby Patriots last week. And a couple of weeks before that, Bethel ran into the same team, a hot team, the Denby Patriots. They knocked off both of these teams, and we'll see tonight.
Well, I talked with Coach Mike Smith over the Hampton Crabbers, and he said that Denby team is a big team, Tim. They're not a small team. They're very big. They're very physical. But both of these coaches, as you can see the referees there, we got Beck McCullough as referee, and you see him there in the white hat. Clementic is the umpire, Tom Chisholm is the lineman, Gary Roby is the line judge, and Ray Spur is the back judge. But both of these coaches felt like they just didn't concentrate on what they should have to beat Denby. They both felt they should have beat the Denby team. They may have been looking ahead. That happens sometimes.
Of course, the other blemish on the Phoebus record was a 27-12 loss to the Hampton Crabbers, a team ranked number 1 in the state, number 8 nationally by USA Today. This Bethel Bruin team has to get past Phoebus to then play the Hampton Crabbers next Saturday afternoon here at Darling Stadium. And by the way, tickets for that game are still available, but they probably won't last long. So if you haven't gotten yours, you might want to plan to do so very soon.
Very soon. Now, both the losses to the Phoebus Phantoms, as you can see them walking out in the field, and there's the captains for the Bruins. Both of the losses that Phoebus had, their running game didn't do anything. Hampton shut down their running game,
who are these
and
gentlemen?
Debbie shut down the running
Gaskell,
game.
I remember
They've got to run. We'll listen to what the officials got to say.
Meet Mr. Carrington, Mr. Ed, Mr. Hill, Phoebus. Gentlemen, looking for a good ball game tonight now. Let us work it to give us a good ball game, all right? Let me introduce you to the officials tonight. Mr. Gary Roby is my line judge. Mr. Ray Sparrow, my back judge. The linesman is Mr. Tommy Chisman, and an umpire, Mr. Danny Clemensik. Okay, Bethel, do you have any questions before I go? Phoebus, do you have any questions? Hey, Rock and Sock, a good ball game tonight. Now, we already had the coin toss, but I'll give it to you right now. Bethel has won the toss. We'll receive. Now, we're going to go around here. Right here. Phoebus kicking that way. All right, any questions? Huh? Give us a handshake. Give us a good ball right there, all right?
All right, Mick McCullough, the effervescent one. Mick always willing to put on the live mic, and we appreciate his cooperation.
Well,
our officials do a great job here on the peninsula.
They really do, but what's neat about that is now people can hear what goes on, what happens out there. They heard that the coin toss was done before the game. That way, that gives the coaches a chance to prepare their kickoff team and their receiving team. So it's kind of neat to be able to find out what's happening. This is a good shot of Bill D.
With that in mind, let's go quickly and show the fans the starting lineups for these two teams. If our director is ready for that, we will show you the offense for the Bethel Bruins. Our center is Page, the right guard is Anders, the right tackle Dean, the left guard is Coulter. Schultz is the left tackle, and Gaskell will be at the right end. Rounding out the starting offensive lineup, Jason Walker will be one wide receiver. Okay, the Kelly Rogers, the wideout, the fullback Matt Harris, Jackson will be the tailback, and a surprise, Devan Hill, number one, will start at quarterback for the Bethel Bruins.
And we'll see on defense, which Phoebus will be on defense to start the game.
We'll get that right after the kickoff, I would assume, Bob. Right now, we are about set to go as kicking off for the Phoebus Phantoms. Well, a little trickery here, a short kick. It is out of bounds. Not the regular kickoff man doing the job there. They kind of put a little new wrinkle in, as you might expect.
Well, and I'll tell you why they did that. They did not want that ball to go to Allen Iverson. We were talking with Larry
35-yard
Eastbeck, who is the
procedure. Kicking team declined. Ball's on the 35-yard line. First down.
All right, Phoebus defense, we have Roseboro at guard, Bostic and Jones are the tackles, Doggett and Dennis are the inside linebackers. The outside linebackers for the Phantoms are, there we go, Wilson and Carrington, who will be playing the outside linebacker, Maury Price and Hardy at the cornerbacks. Dunn is the safety, Ron Hill is the free safety. Good game tonight. Good field position for the Bruins.
All right, the Bruins will start from the 35-yard line. Devan Hill, the quarterback, takes the handoff and gives to Michael Jackson, who goes for 5 yards out close to the 40-yard line.
Why would you think that Coach Kaz would start Devan Hill at quarterback rather than Bubba Chuck?
Well, Bubba Chuck, of course, you and I know him as that. That, of course, is Allen Iverson, as we'll watch a replay of that first play from scrimmage. Let me describe this next play, and then we'll talk about why he might. Second down and about 5 for the Bruins. And we have motion early as the right end for the Bethel Bruins. That would be Barry Hargraves, left before the snap, and that'll cost the Bruins 5.
It really will, and that hurts because you had a second and about 4.
Encroachment.
Goes back, second and 10.
Getting back to the Allen Iverson situation, of course, Kozlowski has always wanted to have, always wants to have something different, a new wrinkle, a new something that the other team might not have been looking for to throw them off. That's the only thing I can come up with.
That's exactly right. He does a great job of of psychology, playing with your mind. That's the key right there. The defense of Phoebus has got to shut down this Bethel running attack. If they do, then they're going to put pressure on the Bethel to spread it out, bring in Iverson, pass the ball. Now, DeVan Hill, I don't know what kind of a passer he is. I don't know if you got any statistics on him or not, Kaz.
Funny you should ask. My good man, I will have something for you here in just a moment.
All right.
Compliments of the Daily Press Sports Department. Third down at about 8. This is Michael Jackson turning the left corner, and then he's tackled in the open field very nicely by number 82 for the Phoebus Phantoms. That's Larry Hardy, who came up to make the stop and prevent the first down. The Bruins will have to kick.
Well, he came up fast from that quarterback spot. He's 6'2", and he's only 155. Not a big kid, but quick, and we got Maury Price, who's going to go deep for the Phantoms.
And Kevin Melvin will punt from inside his 30-yard line. On a fourth down and about 4 for Bethel. Long count, trying to pull the Phantoms off. It doesn't work. They do, in fact, snap the ball. A poor kick gets a Bethel bounce and will end up being a pretty good kick when it gets all said and done at the 20-yard line. So a low-line driver that can sometimes give you problem, but it ends up at the 20-yard line, so it all not bad.
Well, before we go on with your thing with Devon, as we can see the Phoebus offense, we got Stiers and Lewis at, tackle, Lewis at guard, Brian Howell at center, the other guard is Avis, and Roseborough is the right tackle. In the backfield and on the ends for the Phantoms.
Takes a minute to get there.
Yeah, Avery Hill and, Tony Avery and Ronald Hill, the back, wideout Price, fullback Dennis, T.J. Carrington is the tailback, and of course, Torrey Edge.
And that is he with the ball. This is Torrey Edge, tripped up as he gets close to the 30-yard line. He almost broke that for big yardage.
As you saw in the pregame, that was a big game, a big play for them when they played Bethel last year.
All right, here's the Bethel defense. Gaskell and Williams are the guards. The tackles are Dean and Hargraves. Chenault and Evans will play the defensive ends for Bethel. Dennis Kozlowski will have remaining on the field for the defense. The balance, Gunn and Robinson. The linebackers, the corners are Hill and Terrell, and Iverson will play safety. Second down and a short yard for the Phantoms, and getting the first down close to the 33-yard line. I believe that was, that's number 35, and that would be Steve Dennis.
Yes, big kid. Really, he had some problems all year long, nagging injuries, but boy, he is healthy now and says he's ready to play as we watch the replay. Just power, that's straight up the gut power football. The field is wet, Tim. The wind didn't blow enough, or sun didn't come out enough to dry it. It's damp out there on that field tonight.
Dennis with 313 yards on the season. Best game was 75. Check that, 131 yards in the first game of the season against Princess Anne. Again, the Phantoms stick to the ground. We're going to see predominantly, I would think, a running attack at least early in this ball game. Both of these teams know how to move the ball on the ground.
That tackle was made by Lamont Williams. He's 6'2", 222. Watch it. He meets him at the line of scrimmage, along with number 11, Xavier Gunn, and still picked up couple of yards.
Second down, and let's call it 7. Gain of 3 on the play. 7:51, and then a flag is thrown. This will be, well, let's wait and see what it'll be. But someone may have moved on that line.
Either that or somebody stepped across the line of scrimmage, and Bethel's clapping.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure. Offense.
So that'll cost the Phantoms 5 yards. I didn't get a chance to mention, those of you who may not be familiar with the high school rules, there are 4 12-minute quarters in high school football, and many of the other rules are very similar to that of college football. I do want to remind you, we talked about that Hampton-Bethel game. Tickets will be on sale tomorrow, Saturday, the 7th of November, at the Hampton game, which will be Hampton and Ferguson Saturday night here at Darling Stadium. Tickets available at that game. Ball is batted in the air, almost picked off by the Bethel Bruins.
Xavier Gunn, number 11, hit the ball, and it hit another player, and he didn't see it. Could have very well been picked off. He did a good job dropping back in that his zone coverage. Tim, we didn't have a winner of our contest.
I can't believe that. I said
Nobody
6
knew.
entries myself.
Nobody knew.
What contest was that you refer to?
We're talking about the first game that we televised that was then Channel 29, WHCS, was in 1980, Bethel and Hampton. Nobody chose it, but we got a surprise for the people.
All right. 3rd down and 12 on the option. The Bruin defense is there to stop the play. No first down, nowhere close to a first down. And now we'll see the Phoebus team come out. Well, let's talk about what's the surprise.
Well, we got a shirt. We got a sweater.
Real nice sweater.
100% wool, extra large. I think it's blue in color.
Here's the replay of that last play. Go ahead.
So what we're going to do is if the fans will send their name, address, and a phone number on a postcard, mail it in to us, we will draw at the Hampton-Bethel game a week from tonight, which will be,
Actually,
a week from tomorrow, Saturday afternoon.
This is Iverson getting back to the live action. Allen Iverson, there is a flag down on the play. This is what happens when Allen Iverson gets the football. But let's see who the penalty is going to be against. Oh, I tell you, he is Mr. Excitement. Look at Kozlowski there. He says, I can't believe it. That flag came down real early in the return, back where you might expect an illegal block might have occurred.
Yeah, and that's exactly what is.
Flipping on the receiving team after change of possession. After penalty, it'll be a first down.
No, we watched the play. Nice run. He's very excited.
Let's see if we can pick up. Here is the block that's ruled a clip. That's a real close call there. Looked to me like he had his head in front of the runner, in front of the player. Number 1 got called for it.
Yeah, he was not happy with it.
And I can understand why he might not be. That was a real close call.
That's your the quarterback, Evan Hill. But anyway, getting back to that, they sent in a postcard. We will pull during halftime. We will make a drawing, and whoever we draw will get that sweater.
On the receiving team, first down.
All right, so what they have to do is send a postcard to, let's just call it Dr. Still, WHCS Channel 5, 1819 Nickerson Boulevard in Hampton.
23663.
We'll give that to you again if you want to get a pen or a pencil and write that address down. All you have to do to enter the contest to win the beautiful sweater, it's a $30 value. All you have to do is send us a postcard with your name, address, and telephone number to WHCS Channel 5, Dr. Still, 1819 Nickerson Boulevard. And we'll show you the, we'll mention that to you again later on in the game here. Here's a replay of Michael Jackson's carry out to about the 18-19 yard line, I guess it is. Gain of almost 4. 2nd down and 6 for the Bruins. Neither team able to score so far. This is Jackson trying to get outside. Another fine effort on the defense. Number 9 for the Phantoms, Ron Hill, coming over to make the stop on Jackson. And again, a great job on the defense there. Out to the 24-yard line. It'll be short of the first down by about 2 yards. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. There you see Bill D and the rest of the coaching staff. Here's the pitch coming to your home
coming
screen.
right in your living room. Yep. What great camera work by our sideline cameraman, Mr. ESPN. Baton.
Going for the first down, very close to it.
Depends on the spot. If the spot is where that foot is on number 24, the official there, I almost say he got it. But you're the eagle eye, Tim. You're going to come out and say...
Oh, he got the first down, sure. He got it.
Well, we got a timeout to check it. Let me do real quick. We will pick a DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game from tonight from each one of these teams. They will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from DC Engraving, which is located at Tab Square, Route 17. Dave Buckwalder is a young man out there. Sports Place is located at Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road. Dave Chubb is there, and he will give us the shirt. So we'll look forward
back, right?
right off his back. We look forward to picking the player of the game from each one of these teams tonight.
So you saw the first down measurement and the first down recorded for the Bruins. DeVan Hill, again, pitching to Michael Jackson, and Jackson almost breaks it. Each time there's one man. This time it was K.C. Doggett, number 32, who came up to make the nice stop. But Jackson is one man away from breaking a long gainer.
And one more block will do it. But K.C. Doggett came from his inside linebacker that time and did a great job of filling the hole. As you can see, he had one man out there that he would have been able to perhaps get by.
Second down at about 6. The Bruins running to the left perpetually. That is Carrington, one of your two-way players. TJ, of course, leading rusher in the Peninsula District, and he makes the defensive play here to stop the Bruins for a loss back to the 26-yard line.
Well, and this was a change. Last week, TJ did not play defense that much. He did not start, but they knew they needed him, his leadership and his athletic ability.
Fine job by Carrington to make the stop. Brings up a third down and 10 after the loss of 4 on the play. Man in motion is Chris Gaskell. Fake the pitch. DeVan wants to throw. He does. Gaskell is the receiver. Big Chris Gaskell is down at the 30-yard line after a short gain.
And that's Maury Price.
32. But it'll be fourth down for the Bruins.
Tim, look at the difference in these two sides. 6'4", 259. Gaskell and 5'8", 155 Maury Price. David and Goliath.
A slight mismatch, but Maury Price did a fine job of putting an immediate stop on Gaskell before he could turn around and square up. It could have been a first down with the kind of power that Gaskell has, but see, Price was right there, took him down at the knees, because you don't arm tackle a man that big.
No, but look at this. 4th and 4, and they lined up like they're going to go for it. But I think he's going to try to draw him offside, and that's exactly what he's trying to do.
And you know Bill D said to his defensive team, do not move.
That's right. You move and give him a first down. Don't come to this sideline.
Delay the game, offense, fourth down.
So 3:46 remaining here in the first quarter. No score between Bethel and Phoebus. You're watching this game. If you're watching it Friday night, you're watching it live here on Channel 5. That's right. We're bringing this game to you live from Darling Stadium. And, of course, we'll replay this game throughout our normal replay schedule of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday evenings. Pressure put on the kicker, gets the kick away. Again, a break for the Bethel Bruins because a good roll will place the ball at the 35-yard line.
Tim, that field is so damp and soggy, I'm surprised he's getting that kind of a roll with the ball.
2 times now the Bruins have kicked it, and twice they've been the recipient of a very generous roll after a relatively low and short kick. So the Phantoms now will have the ball for their second time in the ballgame. Neither team able to sustain a drive here in the first quarter.
Well, this is kind of a switch. The first time they had the ball was on the 20. Now they got it on the 35. Bethel started at the 35, and their second possession started at the 20. So we'll see what Phoebus can do from this point.
Quarterback is Torrey Edge, the senior. Throws, and it's picked off.
Allen Iverson?
No, they say he did not.
Must have hit the ground or something.
Either it or he touched the ground, and the Bethel coaching staff
because somebody blew the whistle. Somebody blew the whistle, and he was in the end zone, had the ball, it did not hit.
An inadvertent whistle on a loose ball play. It will be Bethel's ball. It will be Bethel's ball. First down at the spot the whistle blew.
Well, you heard Mick McCullough, and boy, I'll tell you, the coaches
Skip
are
Bouchard is livid.
As you might expect they would be. Let's see if we can see this play again. Here you see the ball tipped and picked off by Iverson. No reason for a whistle to blow, but inadvertently it did. And Iverson was in the end zone, but it's...
Well, in all fairness to the Phantoms,
the damn guy down there.
TJ Carrington stopped chasing him.
It is a turnover. The Bruins will have it at the 30-yard line, and of course the Bruins are happy about that.
Well, I tell you, Allen Iverson is such an exciting player, but he knows he can read quarterbacks' eyes. He knows where that ball is going. He's like a magnet. He jumped on that ball. Had the guy caught it, he'd have been tackled. He missed it. Now we got a turnover.
All right, they've moved the ball back to the 35. Which in fact was the original line of scrimmage.
Right.
So the Bruins now with Michael Jackson. This time they tried the right side after going almost predominantly to the left side early in the ballgame.
Okay, and that makes sense, doesn't it? Except for one thing, they're going to the short side of the field. Over here, they ran everything to the short side over there. What they're trying to do is create a seam, get some good blocking, because the team normally will shift to the wide side of the field, so you feel like you're outmanned.
Gain of about 6. Jackson gets the call. He'll be a little short of the first down. Needs to get to the 25, and he'll be at about the 26.
Looks like he's about a yard short on that, Tim.
2:35 remaining in the first quarter.
When I interviewed with Bill D earlier, you saw it in the program, that's one thing that was concerning him was the turnover as we watched the replay here.
Well, that's, and he said the same thing every coach will tell you. You have to avoid turnovers if you want to win a ball game. Strict power play. The Bruins get the first down inside the 25 all the way down to the 22-yard line. So Bethel now will have a first down at the Phoebus 22.
Tim, that offensive line just pushed that defensive line back about 4 yards. That's another thing that Bill D and I talked about. Offensive line is going to control the outcome of this game. There's some good runners, but you got to open up some holes.
Michael Jackson again.
And again, KC dogging right on him, doing a great job from that linebacker spot.
Individually, Jackson this year has 775 yards through 8 games. His best endeavor was against Ferguson when he enjoyed a 223-yard evening. And of course, last week didn't do badly with 150 yards against Norview. Into the middle of the line for a couple of yards. That is Jackson again, the workhorse here in the first quarter. And we are down close to a minute remaining in the first quarter. The other leading rusher on this Bethel team is not on the field right now. That would be Allen Iverson, who will play quarterback most of the time. And Jackson is hit at the line of scrimmage, and he'll gain nothing on that play. So the Phoebus defense, and I'm sure you can help me pick out some of those players.
65 was the man that hit him first, and that's your nose guard, John Roseborough. He's 6'1", Tim. He's 225. Big kid, playing a great job of nose. They just slanted right to the spot. Watch this, the handoff, and boom. I mean, there was nothing.
With a 4th down and 8 now, we're going to see, or at least I think we're going to see, an attempted field goal of 36 yards. The kick is up. It appears to be short, and it is. So the attempted field goal by number 25, Terrell, is no-go. And you might hear the Phoebus coaches, you can hear them saying, great job. They did a good job.
They have 2 touchdowns that were called back by the Bruins, one on a clipping and one on an inadvertent whistle. So Phoebus has got to feel real good right now because Bethel has crossed the goal line 2 times and neither one of them counted.
So the Phantoms will go from the 20 with 23 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. A scoreless first quarter between these 2 Peninsula powers.
That looked like Ron Hill on the carry, but there's a flag coming in that time right at the end of the play. Maybe face mask
on the defense.
So that'll cost the Bruins. That'll be, I believe, 15 yards from the point of the infraction.
Now from the end of the play.
Yep.
That's 15 yards, face mask from the end of run on a defense, and it will be a first down.
So the Phantoms get a first down via the penalty. Picked up about 3 yards on the play, but got 15 more. And this should be, or certainly could be, the last play of the first quarter with the time running down to 10 seconds. And now we've got a timeout by the Phoebus Phantoms. And that gives me an opportunity to make mention of a couple of things here. You've got your plug in. I got a couple of plugs here. I got to talk about some great things happening here on Channel 5. You may have heard of it, and you probably will hear a lot more about Homework 2000. Students, are you having problems solving your math problems at home? Well, don't worry, because Channel 5 has come to the rescue. Beginning Tuesday, November the 10th at 7 p.m., we'll begin airing Homework 2000, a live call-in program. Math teachers from the Hampton City Schools will be on hand to answer questions and help you solve your math problems. The Homework 2000 numbers are 850-5426 and 850-5427. Remember, Channel 5 is always working towards making your learning experiences more enriching. We hope you'll take an active part in Homework 2000. We'll see you Tuesday night at 7 p.m. right here on Channel 5. That's exciting. I tell you, that it's a great program, and Channel 5 is very happy to be very much involved in doing this to help the students.
Yeah, it is, and it's nice to be able to have a live call-in where you can get immediate feedback, and look forward to that airing Tuesdays and Thursdays starting next week.
All right, back to the game at hand as the second quarter, as we're 9 seconds away from the second quarter. That timeout coming just before the conclusion of the first. Edge faking and looking. He's got Hill open and hits him for a first down at the Bruin 48-yard line.
Allen Iverson went flying in front and just missed getting a hand on that ball. Great concentration by Ron Hill.
And that will be the last play of the first quarter. We got a chance to watch this
End of the first quarter.
on replay. We don't have to talk. We'll just let Mick tell you about the game and when the quarter's over. Nice job by Torrey Edge here. He finds Hill, leads him perfectly. There you saw Iverson diving through your picture in a diving attempt to make the INT, but it goes to the hands of Ron Hill, who makes the grab for a first down at the Bethel 48-yard line.
You got something else you need to talk about there on...
No, I've already talked about that.
Well,
I want to talk about Ron Hill.
Back to the ball on the 48, Danny.
What a nice job Ron Hill made on that play.
48-yard line, Phoebus. They got 2 timeouts.
Hill on the year, 5 catches for 76 yards. And he has not been the primary go-to guy, as Tony Avery and Maury Price generally are, but Hill has exhibited good hands in the past.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Ron Hill. He's one of these unsung heroes. He does a great job blocking for T.J. Carrington, and sometimes he does carry the ball and picks up some yardage, but he does a lot of things that the coaches ask him to do that you don't see in the statistics.
And those statistics I wanted to mention again are compliments of the Daily Press Sports Department. Mike Keach, Lynn Burke, Sonny Dirth, Al Pierce, Eric Pugh, and many other very fine writers for the Daily Press, and we certainly appreciate their contribution to our coverage here on Channel 5.
The left side of the Bethel line that time ganged up on Dennis. Dennis picked up about a yard on the play. What was that, Scotty said?
Scotty wanted to know if I get my paper free, too.
Hey, he gets more than one.
That's right. I get as many as I want.
And he gets all those coupons, Scotty.
47-yard line, second down and 9 for the Phantoms. Second quarter just underway. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz coming to you from Darling Stadium. The battle between the Bruins and the Phantoms. This is Carrington, one of the few times this evening that he has gotten any kind of running room, or for that matter, any opportunity to run with the ball. He is down at the 44-yard line of the Phantoms. He will be 6 yards shy of the first down, third down. A chilly night here at Darling Stadium. Temperature at game time in the upper 40s, certainly football weather. No chance of rain and a light breeze. As you see, Carrington just knocked out of bounds. Ball came loose, but they ruled that the ball was down before the fumble occurred.
Oh, the Devon Hill and Allen Iverson were both in on that stop.
Edge pitching to Carrington. Got the wide side of the field, cuts back, and that does a real fine job looking for a block. Iverson misses it, and Carrington has some room and some blocking. Carrington out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
I tell you, Allen Iverson took the wrong angle that time, to get T.J. Carrington. T.J.'s got more speed than what Allen thought, and he just took himself out of the play. What a nice run by T.J. because he was stopped.
You'll watch this again. This will wear you out. Just watch him. He goes all the way to the far side of the field, sees it's all plugged up there, nothing happening. Then right here, what a great move there. He stopped about 8 Bruins in their tracks. There you saw Iverson go for him and couldn't catch him.
Well, he took the wrong angle because there was a man he had to go around. So, you know, all fairness to Allen, but that was a great run by T.J.
All the way down to the 8-yard line, 1st and goal, and Torrey Edge is sacked.
Number 89 for the Bruins.
Well,
I'm sorry,
58.
99, that's Hargraves.
And Sean Robinson, number 58, in on the stop for the Bethel Bruins. So a big defensive play, a loss of 3 yards, almost 4 on the play, after that big run by T.J. Carrington. Carrington on the season, we talked about his success. Carrington, 849 yards. Held to just 35 yards last week in that loss to Denby. Edge wants to throw, got a man wide open at the end zone, touchdown.
Big number 88 for the
Tony Avery.
Phantoms. 6'3", 195. Nice target. He's just a sophomore.
Tony Avery, who had some spectacular catches in the last game we covered. Now we've got a flag down. The touchdown will stand, but there is a penalty flag. We'll let Mick McCullough tell us about it.
Maybe roughing the passer. Well, wait a minute.
We have a dead ball foul. We do have a touchdown on the play. It is a touchdown.
The penalty evidently will come after the try for extra point, but Mick will tell us.
Jeff Herman.
We had a dead ball, personal foul. Defense, 1/2 the distance of the goal. We try for point.
So it will not be on the kickoff, but in fact is assessed here. But in spite of that 1.5 yard extra yardage gain by that, Herman will try for the extra point and kicks it through the uprights. And now the Phantoms lead 7-0 on that 11-yard pass from Torrey Edge to Tony Avery.
And what a nice time to call that. You're running the ball and you're running it pretty successful, and you fake that dive and that pitch and then hit that tight end. Watch the play. A nice fake to the fullback and to Carrington, and then Tony just takes 2 steps to the right and finds Avery wide open, just laid the ball right in there. What a nice pass.
Talking about wide open, he was so wide open I was afraid he might drop the ball because of the fact he was so wide open.
Well, the coaches for the Phantoms were a little concerned last week. They had a lot of open receivers, and the quarterback, Torrey Edge, just was overthrowing him. And maybe a little bit of adrenaline flowing, and you throw it a little harder, but that time that was a nice soft touch to that ball. Nice pass.
Capping an 80-yard drive, it took 7 plays, consumed 6 minutes and 21 seconds. The 11-yard pass from Edge to Avery for the touchdown. And for Avery, that is touchdown number 4 on the season.
And we're going to have that side kickoff again by the Phantoms. They're not going to kick the ball deep to Mr. Allen Iverson.
And in case you're wondering where I get all those statistics from, those are from our good friend Gary Moore to my immediate left. He does a great job. Oh, that ball's a live ball. I can't believe the Bruins didn't go for it.
And they did. And the Phantoms
Allen Iverson stood there and watched the ball go dead.
They were hoping it would go out of bounds.
Unbelievable. That ball died on the grass, and they sat there and watched it.
Touched the football. After 10 yards, it's a free ball. Here's Phoebus. First down.
Hands up. I didn't see who got that recovery.
A mental error on the part of the Bruins as they allow a ball. Now, you heard Mick McCullough, and most of you who know anything about football, once that ball goes 10 yards, it is a live ball. The ball, you talked about the wetness on the grass. We'll see if we have a replay on that, but the live action is here, 30-yard line. The Phantoms trying to strike for more, and Allen Iverson, atoning for that mental error, intercepts the ball, and after about a 4-yard return is driven out of bounds.
Interception, change of possession, first down. Bethel,
Bill D's got to be upset. He had a ball player trying to call timeout. He evidently didn't want to run that play, but he didn't get the timeout call. Bethel ends up with the interception. Second one for Allen Iverson tonight.
Here's the interception. Edge throwing the ball well overthrown.
That was
the intended receiver.
Dennis was the intended receiver.
Back to the live action. This is Michael Jackson. And Jackson gets maybe a yard at the most.
Right now, the Phoebus defense is really fired up, and they're coming off that ball and trying to thwart this Bethel running attack, and they seem to be doing a pretty good job right now. I don't know how much longer Kaz is not gonna.
Well, there's plenty of time, Bob.
Yeah, when you're behind, you wonder.
The Bruins trailing 7-0. This is Jackson, got a block on the corner. Nice move. Jackson is driven out of bounds by Ronald Hill, but not before he gets out close to the 40-yard line, and a Bruin first down. The Bruins averaged 33 points per game this season while only allowing 9.5. So the Bruins have the firepower to put points on the board. And certainly the Phoebus defense can be very dominating. Just ask Kicketan about that. But the Bruins are playing much better right now than the Warriors were when they faced Phoebus 2 weeks ago. This is Jackson into the middle of that line for a couple of yards.
That's tough yardage in the middle of that line. Bethel got outside last time, did a great job.
And tempers flaring just a little bit, as you might expect. This game is very important for both of these squads. Bethel, of course, wants to continue their winning ways and go into the matchup with Hampton with an opportunity to share the Peninsula District. And by the way, your wish has been answered, Bob. Mr. Iverson is at quarterback. Gives off to Jackson, and Jackson gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about all.
Well, he adds so much more dimension to the offense because he can run the ball, he can throw the ball, he can scramble, he can make defenses do things that they normally don't do. And but at this point, you're third and 7 or 8. It looks like a passing situation. So let's see what happens.
6:55 remaining in the first half. Bruins trailing 7-0. Iverson on the play fake. And Iverson is wrestled to the ground at the 45-yard line. It'll be fourth down.
That was big number 85 for the Phantoms who made that stop. That's the outside linebacker, Anson Wilson. He's 6'3", just a junior.
Here's your replay. Iverson will...
He'll pick up yards running backwards, sideways, forward. Now watch him run backwards and pick up yards. Man is a competitor.
Not enough yardage, however, as the Bruins now will, and there you might have seen encroachment, nothing called. The Phantom stepped into the neutral zone, but got back before the ball was snapped.
But that should have been a penalty because you can't go into the neutral zone. You're right.
If that rule is as you stated, you're absolutely right. He stepped completely into the neutral zone, but nothing was called. So the Phantoms will get the ball at the 30-yard line. You wave hi, Mom?
I say hi, Kayla. I say hi to Kayla.
That's right.
Kayla's my sweetheart.
And again, we remind you, you're watching live coverage here from Darling Stadium. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz. And of course, I say if you're watching this Friday evening, it's live. You're not watching a replay. But if you're watching it Saturday night, then you're not watching it live. That would make sense, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Carrington. Yeah, well, then we're live on tape on Saturday and Sunday and Monday, Tuesday, and sometime next summer. Because we play this thing until we get it right.
Yes.
7-0. The Phantoms have got it right so far. They have the 7-point lead. You may recall last year, this game between these two teams was a hotly contested game right down to the last, and the Bruins pulled off a 20-19 victory, as you saw in our pregame show, over these Phoebus Phantoms.
Jonathan Dean and Sean Robertson combined to make that stop of T.J. Carrington on the last play. Nice move by T.J. to get away from a couple tacklers on that, and finally pushed out of bounds.
Well, it looked like he wasn't going anywhere for a moment there, because it seemed to be the play took a little longer to develop than it should have. But then, in spite of that, Carrington got a couple of yards anyway out to the 35-yard line. Again, we remind you, please stay tuned at halftime for our live coverage, if you're watching this Friday night, of the halftime program here at Darling Stadium. I assume we'll have a halftime show. I see the Phoebus Phantom marching band coming on to the field, and Makita Perry will be your hostess for the halftime program. The pitch to Carrington, left side, and he's upended by Allen Iverson. Iverson paid back.
Oh, what competitors, both of them, TJ and Allen.
And that'll bring up a 4th down for the Phantoms. So both defenses have dominated play here in the first quarter, with the exception of TJ Carrington's reverse run and ultimate 11-yard pass for the touchdown. That's our only score here in the first half. Low snap. Kicked away nicely.
Oh, they're trying to kick it away from Allen. They don't want to give it to him.
Terrence Dunn is the punter. Allen Iverson is the return man, and Iverson scampering up the sideline. He may go all the way. Is there a flag down?
No flag this time, I can see. You kick it away from the man. He gets it with 2 players right there, and he still takes it back. So elusive. And such speed, and Gary Moore is going crazy up here at the booth.
Why would Gary go crazy?
Oh, I think he might know Bubba Chuck.
Well, now all I got to do is get Gary to tell me how many yards the return was.
He's got it.
I bet he does. Allen Iverson with about a 65-yarder.
Who we got down there in the slow-mo?
68-yard return. We'll see it. And the extra point is blocked. So the Bruins do not tie the ball game up. And boy, that blocked extra point can come back to haunt you. Here's what we've got of the Allen Iverson return. And he's doing nothing at this point but looking back.
And slowing down. We have a visiting slow motion man in the booth.
Well, obviously, he's not quite as adept at this as Alan Parker, or he would have had the whole thing, right?
Slow-mo Joe, we're glad to have you back. Alan will help you.
Alan will show you how to do it slow-mo. That's all right. Slow-mo got me some of the best hot sausage here from Darling Stadium. Well, I could use one tonight to warm up my hands, if nothing else.
Well, you could eat it and I could get warm from the steam coming out of your ears.
Yes, you could. So the Bruins, with the 68-yard return of the punt by Allen Iverson, have cut the margin to 1 point. The blocked extra point. It did not pick up who blocked the point for the Phantoms, but that could
the center of the line. The ball never got off the ground, Tim.
Could be a huge extra point miss. Bruins kick it relatively short to the 25-yard line. This is Edge fielding it. And Edge is out close to the 38, where the Phantoms will set up on offense with 3:54 remaining in the first half. And they hold a 1-point lead over the Bethel Bruins. Now, the playoff situation, Bob, I know we really can't say a whole lot about it because nothing is firm and fast right now.
Yes, there's 2 teams that are firm and fast, and that's Norview, Norcom, and
was it Lake Taylor?
Lake Taylor. They are in. Hampton is in.
If they win against Ferguson or Bethel.
Right.
But that 4th spot is what we're talking about, and the winner of this game will certainly improve their chances for getting that 4th spot. So with that in mind, this game is a huge game for both of these teams.
Sure is. That was Jonathan Dean, number 55, the defensive tackle on that left side for the Bruins, dragging down T.J. Carrington.
I wish a couple of years ago when you went to extensive trouble to explain the power rating system. I wish we had videotaped that so we could show that again.
Well, I can explain it a little bit. You get so much for beating a team, and then you get so many points for each team that they beat.
Right.
So that's the way it works.
Edge, and Edge is sacked back at the 31-yard line.
That's by Hargrave again, big number 99, 6'7", 242 senior. Tim, 6'7", he looks like a shadow coming after you. I mean, blots out the lights. Big kid.
But anyway, the reason I referred to the power rating is that it is somewhat confusing when you look in the Daily Press and you see Hampton is the #1 ranked team in the state, but other teams in the same region have higher power ratings.
Yeah.
One has nothing to do with the other, except the power ratings are what determine your seeding in the postseason play, which is much more important than being ranked.
Yeah, don't care about the rankings in the state. Give me the highest power rating.
Yep. Edge wants to pass. He's got a man open on the near side, and this is Ron Hill, and Hill can't catch up with the ball.
And that was intended all the way. Edge did a great job looking to the right and then coming back to throw to Ron Hill. Devon Hill. No,
that's Devan.
Devan, I'm sorry.
That's
Hill.
okay.
That's another Hill. I wonder if they're related. Anyway, they're about the same size. He's 5'8", 145. And Ron Hill is 5'10", 165, so they're pretty close to being the same size.
Here's Edge again, lofting that ball up, trying to get it so that Hill can run underneath it. That's a tough chance. 4th down now, finds the Phantoms kicking once again. This takes a slow roll and is down by Hill at the 40-yard line. So the Bruins will have 1:52 and 3 timeouts remaining here in the first half, trailing by a single point.
And we will again pick a player of the game from each one of these teams, and we've got a lot of likely candidates so far. DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game. They'll get a plaque and a shirt. Compliments of Dave Buckwalter and David Chubb.
Ball just shy of the 40-yard line. One lone setback, and that lone setback gets the call.
That looks like number 33. Is that Chenault?
Yeah, that's Brandon Chenault, who
just
has
a ninth grader.
Not played much here in the first half, if at all. I don't believe I've called his name previously. Kaz kind of mixing up his lineup right now.
Well, Chenault has been playing, started at defensive end for the Bruins. He's just a ninth grader, young kid.
Got a lot of future with this young man. He had 113 yards against Gloucester 2 games ago and has 252 yards on the season, as you said, just seeing spot duty. Iverson bobbing and weaving, trying to get away from the Phoebus would-be tacklers. Then he ran out of field as he is out of bounds back inside the 40 at about the 37-yard line.
Yeah, the coaching staff very high on the young Mr. Chenault. They're very high on that young man. If Allen had about 2 more yards on the sideline, that's how he may have done something. He got good pressure from the Phantoms, trying to get away, and there was nowhere to go but out of bounds.
Iverson throws it up. The ball is tipped away at the last second. Intended for number 25, Alfred Terrell.
That ball was right on the money.
Well, Bob, I've been handed some extra duty here at halftime. Looks like
you get to do the...
Makita's not here either.
You going down on the field to do this? Oh, Tim. Oh, I thought you'd get down there and get with the pom-pom girls and...
I was going to let you do this, Bob.
You're doing a great job, Timothy.
So it's 4th down now for the Bruins, and they will be in deep punt formation. Fair catch called for and made at the 34-yard line. Back for the Phoebus Phantoms, 27, Maury Price.
Tim, that ball was punt was almost blocked. Very close to being blocked.
36 seconds. There you see the scoreboard, the time remaining, and the score. The home team, of course, is the Phoebus Phantom team. And the Bruins are the visitors.
I tell you, Phoebus has got to feel pretty good because there was 2 touchdowns that were called back. One was definitely a clip and was, well, close enough to a clip that the referee called it, but the other one of Allen Iverson's inverted whistle, boy, that hurts.
And now we have whistles again.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, offense.
So an illegal procedure call against the Phantoms will cost them 5. I'll tell you one thing, Bob. The temperature out here tonight has plummeted from earlier in the, well, I guess in the upper 50s, and it's in the low 40s.
Well,
there.
it's supposed to get down to 30s tonight, so the man at the weather station said.
This is real football weather. These young men will not have to worry about getting overheated tonight.
You got that. But the problem with the weather like this, you go in at halftime, you come out, you got to do a good job of stretching and warming back up so you don't pull a muscle. That's one of the things that the coaches really are concerned about.
Phantoms in no hurry at all here. We may have seen the last play of the first half. We're down to 5 seconds, and it would appear that neither team will expend a timeout here, and that is the conclusion of the first half. The only score, an 11-yard pass from Torrey Edge to Tony Avery, and the extra point was good. The other 6 points was the Allen Iverson 68-yard punt return, and the extra point was blocked. And that's how we stand at halftime, with the Phoebus Phantoms holding the narrowest of margins.
Tim, we're going to take a quick break, go back to the station, and then we'll be back for halftime.
All
How's
right.
that sound?
Sounds real good to me. Bob Hintz back here at Darling Stadium at halftime. The halftime statistics in the game with the Bruins trailing 7-6 to the Phantoms. First downs in the first half, 3 for the Bethel Bruins, 6 for the Phantoms. Third down efficiency found the Bethel Bruins 2 of 7 for 29%, and the Phantoms 1 out of 4 third down conversions for 25%. Total net yards, Bethel with 62 yards, 82 yards for the Phantoms. An average of 2.7 yards per gain on the play for the Bruins, 3.9 for the Phantoms. Net yards rushing, 55 for Bethel, 61 for Phoebus. The leaders individually for the Bruins, Jackson 17 carries for 52 yards, averaging 3.1. Hill had 1 carry for 4. Iverson 2 carries with -2 yards. For the Phantoms, Carrington 8 carries for 54 yards, the longest that 33-yard scamper that set up their touchdown. Dennis had 3 carries for 7 yards, and Edge 3 carries for a -4 yards. In the passing department, Edge 2 of 4, 21 yards, and he was intercepted twice. While Iverson threw 1, it was incomplete, and Hill threw 1, completing it for 7 yards to Chris Gaskell. And there were 2 interceptions, both by Allen Iverson. One of those was called back on an inadvertent whistle. And talking with Mike Teach at halftime, that could be a huge inadvertent whistle should this game end up in this same score.
It really is, because that was clearly a touchdown, and there was no reason for that whistle to be blown. And but all fairness to the Phantoms, you hear the whistle, you stop pursuing, not knowing. I don't know whether they'd have caught Allen or not, but they didn't even get a chance to try because you stop when you hear the whistle.
Right. All right, underway the second half. And hit at the 28-yard line by number 43. Whoa. That is Wilton Evans, who is the extra point guy. And he missed the extra point that would have tied this ball game. So I'm sure Wilton is anxious to contribute as much as he can here in the second half.
Tim, he's 5'10", 175, a junior, and also plays a defensive end position for the Bethel. All fairness to the Bruins, you'll see a lot as you see this play of. You'll see a lot of different names out there. Kaz gives me a starter's offense and defense, depending on what scheme they're in, who's going to be on the field.
From the 29-yard line, the Phantoms will go first down. And the Bruin defense smothers the would-be ball carrier.
And big number 76, Lamont Williams, 222.
That was number 35, Steve Dennis, who never got untracked. It was as if the Bruins knew the play and were in the backfield for the handoff.
Well, that's that dive to the fullback, and he lost two on the play. But the Bruins come out trailing by 1 point, and they feel like they should be ahead. So they're coming out with a little more vengeance, especially on that first play.
Loss of the play of almost 3 yards. It is second and 13, and then Edge is thrown for yet another loss back to the 24-yard line.
And that's Jonathan Dean, number 55. Tim, I've called his name a number of times this evening.
On the beanbag, Danny, on the beanbag, right there. Forward progress. Forward progress.
So they marked the ball just shy of the 25-yard line.
So we know what the beanbag is for now.
Yeah, I know that. So you've ever watched the official throw that little bag, he's not playing hopscotch. He's marking where the forward progress should be marked for the ball carrier.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, it's third down. The Phantoms going in the wrong direction right now. It's third down and almost 15. Edge on the reverse. This is Maury Price, and Price is tripped up by Hargraves.
6'7", all of him, and he was not fooled by that reverse. He did his job. We do have a flag on the play, Tim, as I see clear over on the other side, but it looks like about at the 18-yard line, so let's see what that is.
I'm sure Mick will be the first one to let us know. There you see Kozlowski in the center of your picture there. Doesn't anyone tell Dennis it's 40 degrees out here?
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense.
All right, so that's
insult to injury, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. You get sacked for a big loss. Here's your replay. You'll see Price lining up to the bottom of your screen, and he is in the reverse, and then he is tripped up on a great play by Barry Hargraves. And then to add insult to the injury, a 15-yard personal foul, actually half the distance to the goal.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense, loss of down, fourth down.
So it is a fourth down, and they have to go all the way out to the 39-yard line. Kicking from his own end zone will be number 7, Terrence Dunn. He gets a high snap, a little bit of pressure, but he gets a great-looking kick away. Fielded by Iverson at the 41-yard line. Iverson is just so quick that he will score.
He sees a break in a small area, and he kind of just shoots through that. Amazing.
You got to tell the story that we were listening to before the game started, about how Iverson said, hey, coach, put me in for the kickoff.
We were talking to Larry Eastep prior to the game, and 2 or 3 games ago, Allen told Larry, he says, let me run back punts. And he said, he said, put me on special teams. So he said, okay, go in and take that guy, put him in, and he runs it all, and that was against Kickotan, and that really kind of broke Kickotan's back right there, boom. And since then, the young man has been there every time.
Iverson wants to run for the extra point and does, so he converts the 2 and gets back that lost extra point that had been, blocked or just plain old missed earlier.
Well, I think he just didn't get underneath the ball. It never got in the air. And it went right into the middle of the thing. Watch this punt return.
Punt return. Let's just watch it.
Just watch it. Don't say anything.
41-yard line is where he starts.
Watch this move right here. Boom.
Well, we find it humorous, but I guarantee you Bill D and his staff.
Oh, I'm not laughing at the players. I'm laughing at the ability to make a cut sideways.
Oh, it's incredible. The young man is just unbelievable. And you ought to see him on the basketball court if you like him on the football.
Oh, I tell you.
He does things with a basketball you wouldn't believe. But,
well, he does things with the basketball you and I see him do, and we don't believe it, and we see it.
So the Bruins, with just the bat of an eyelash, regained, or I should say gained the lead for the first time, as they had never led in this ball game. They trailed 7-0, then 7-6, and now have taken the 14-7 lead. A short kick taken by one of the up men at the 32-yard line. And the Bruin defense has come out fired up here in the second half, and they were instrumental in getting.
I would have loved to be in the locker room at halftime and listen to Coach Cox. He does have a tendency to get on the emotional side occasionally, but they have made some tremendous adjustments, as you saw in that first defensive series that stopped the. In fact, I don't know what they ended up losing on that first defensive series, but they were going in the wrong direction, as you alluded to.
The Phantoms now will try and get their act back together. They'll do so giving the ball to the Peninsula's leading rusher, T.J. Carrington, who carries would-be tacklers for almost 9 yards.
Well, big Barry Hargrave, that big 6'7" frame, hit young little Mr. T.J. Carrington, and he still picked up 9 yards.
Almost 10. It will be second down and short. Watch this now on your replay. There's Carrington, 21. He just drags back. We talked about Iverson earlier going backwards. Carrington showed he's no slouch in that department either.
And Tim, he gives up 10 inches in height.
This is a first down for the Phantoms. Steve Dennis all the way down to the 45-yard line of the Bethel Bruins.
He was hit by Brian Chenault, but not after he'd already picked up the first down. He being Dennis, fullback for the Phantoms.
Mark it at the 43-yard line. So the first down for the Phantoms. They find themselves behind by 7. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz coming to you live from Darling Stadium on this Friday night, the 7th, make that the 6th of November. The 7th of November, if you're watching this game live, will be a game between Hampton and Ferguson here at Darling Stadium. So if you would like to go out and see a good ball game, Ferguson with one of the best passing attacks, if not the best passing attack on the peninsula, will go against the always tough #1 ranked Hampton Crabbers. 7:30 Saturday night here at Darling Stadium.
Watch this replay. TJ does a great job of picking up almost the first down. I'm not sure where they spotted it, but did a great job. Tim, Allen Iverson inspires the Bruins. T.J. Carrington inspires the Phantoms. You can see the difference in the step of the Phantoms after that first pickup of 9 yards by T.J. Carrington.
Touchdown. It is a first down. First down.
So the measurement gives the first down to the Phantoms, so they keep their mini drive alive here.
Did we have the camera on that?
Yep.
Right on it, didn't we? Great job. Bethel's calling a timeout. While they call a timeout, let me real quick just allude to player of the game. We will pick a DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game from each team tonight. They will receive a plaque and a shirt. DC Engraving is located at Taft Square on Route 17. David Buckwalter is there. He will donate the plaque. The Sports Place is located at Hampton Woods Plaza. David Chubb is there. He donates the shirt. We appreciate the efforts of these two young men.
And we also want to remind you again, about working with your kids. Homework, the parents' 2 heads are better than 1. Take time out to help your kids with their homework. Your child will benefit from your assistance in the long run. It's a fact. Teachers, parents, and students equal successful learners. And don't forget about that Homework 2000 program, a live call-in program starting Tuesday, the 10th of November. That's this coming Tuesday at 7 p.m. And again, Thursday, the 12th, here on Channel 5. They'll give you the numbers then, but I'll give them to you now as well. 850-5426 and 850-5427. Channel 5 will have a live call-in show. You got a problem with your math homework or your problems, you'll have teachers you can call directly on the air, and perhaps students in a similar situation watching that program can learn as well from the on-air live call-in program, Homework 2000, right here on Channel 5. Well, the Bruins called a timeout, 8:14 remaining in the third quarter, and Phoebus with a drive going here, a first down inside the 35-yard line.
TJ was hit by 3 different people, and then there was a fumble, so let's see what happens.
They'll say the Phantoms will retain possession.
No possession.
You
No
can
possession.
hear,
The ball is loose.
you can hear the referee saying
Ball out of bounds.
that no one regained possession of it. So the last team to have possession, which in this case was the Phantoms, will retain possession. We'll get a chance to watch it again. Through a great extra effort here, Carrington spins away and the ball is stripped nicely.
That
the ball is loose.
Brandon Chenault is the one that stripped that. If I'm not mistaken, it looked like number 33 for the Bruins that stripped the ball that time.
Marking at the 31-yard line. It's second down and about 7. Carrington weaving his way down close to the first down. He'll be about a yard short of the first. Needs to get to the 24. They'll mark it right at the 25. Clock moving here in the third quarter. 14-7. The Bethel Bruins. Both scores for Bethel punt returns, 68 and 41 yards respectively for Allen Iverson. The only Phoebus touchdown, if you joined us late, was an 11-yard pass from Torrey Edge to Tony Avery. And the extra point was good for the Phantoms. They trail by 7. This is Carrington again, and Carrington lunging forward in an effort to get to the first down. He'll be very close, and that is a dangerous play because while that ball is out there, of course, it can be batted out of your hands, and if the whistle hasn't blown, it will be a fumble. It would appear where they've marked the ball that he will, well, it's going to be real close. Eagle Eye here is going to have to re-examine that. It's starting to say it's be a first down. I think it's going to be a first down by
where the ball is when the knee goes down. Fundamental.
Edge.
Ball. Where the ball
Tip of the ball.
Progress.
What do you think, Bob? The tip of the ball.
Okay,
here's
Tim.
your replay.
Let's see if we can get it down. Look at the camera.
Tip
Look
of
at the
ball.
camera.
Tip of the ball. Tip of the ball. Tip of the ball. Thank you.
Oh, Eagle Eye, you haven't lost a
I can't read anything in front of me, but I can see it from up here.
I tell you what, you put something in front of him, he's got to pull his glasses, but you get it that far away and he's right on the money. Good call, Tim.
All right, 6:40 remaining. Clock is restarted. 24-yard line, a first down for the Phantoms. Looking to tie or go ahead of this ball game. Huge game for both of these two teams. This is TJ Carrington. He is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Chris Gaskell, big number 89, along with Barry Hargrave, 6'7". Look, let me give you those two young men. You got Chris Gaskell at 259, 6'4", and Barry Hargraves at 242 at 6'7", stopping 5'9", 180, TJ Carrington.
And somebody is down. I believe that is Carrington who is
man.
down and hurt. Boy, that would be a huge
That
blow.
would be a real blow to the Phantoms, but he was hit by about 500 pounds of
solid football players.
not much fat on those two young men.
Kozlowski calls his defensive squad over to the near sidelines.
And Bill is doing the same thing down here, Bill D, as we see that that's Bob Sislow and Frank Harris are the two trainers for respectively for the Phantoms and the Bruins are there with TJ Carrington, and that's good to see. That's I hope it's not. It looks like it might be something on the side. I don't know. They're not working on the legs or the knees, and that's a good sign.
Let's get a chance to watch it again and see if we
It's
can
the elbow. Let's
make
put
out what might have happened. Here's the replay, and you'll see Carrington with, he's always going for that extra yardage. Of course, there it was just a very brief encounter with his two very big
you run into
players.
somebody that outweighs you about 40 pounds. Plus, it's tough. He's a tough young man. I interviewed him after the game 2 weeks ago, and I said, you had a great job, and if you remember, he said, listen, anybody could run through the holes that my offensive line opens up, and I said, yeah, anybody but Tim. But the point I'm trying to make is a very unselfish young man.
And the other point is that I'm slow.
Well, you know, I don't think I could get through it either, but I wasn't going to say that about me.
Carrington with 849 yards on the season in 8 games, so obviously it doesn't take a math genius to figure out he's averaging better than 100 yards a game. And he's got 83, which I can see the spot of the ball down there, but I can't pick it up there. 83 yards on 14 carries so far this evening, and he is still being attended to and now is being helped up.
Well, it's something in his arm. I don't know if it's his wrist or arm or what, but it's good to see him coming out off under his own power. But Bob Cicelo, who is with him, will check out that arm. They're not going to put him back in if there is something wrong. Well, that's why you have trainers.
And a huge injury if he is not able to return. The leading rusher in the Peninsula District out with an injury. And Bill D's squad now will have to tighten the belt another notch. Gut it up, as you would say.
Well, sometimes that works in your favor. Somebody then will pick up the slack. Let's see who they've got in the backfield for him. Looks like number 5, Tim. Torrey Edge kept the ball, and he's stopped by Xavier Dunn and number 76 for the Bruins, Lamont Williams.
You know, we talked about Carrington's prowess with the football. Edge is no slouch. He's got 550 yards running the ball, but he does so very effectively running that option play when he has the ability to use Carrington as the option.
Is that number 5? It's in as Pat Brown, if I picked the number up correctly. Yes, and that City's going out to a slot position, so they're spreading out the defense a little bit, because this is a passing situation.
He's got Hill in there with Steve Dennis, and has a man wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Maury Price.
Oh, somebody blew an assignment for the Bruins. What a nice pass from Torrey Edge to Maury Price.
23-yard pass from Torrey Edge to Maury Price. And just like that, the Phantoms can tie it up with the extra point. Jeff Herman, who is one of the best kickers on the peninsula, will try to make this a tie ball game. His kick is up, and it is good. So the Phantoms strike quickly after the injury to their key running back, Carrington. They run one play, and then Edge, getting good protection, finds Maury Price wide open underneath the end zone.
Tim, the field is wet, and it's very possible that the defensive back lost his footing. That might have meant that Maury Price was that open, but if that didn't happen, then somebody blew an assignment, because he was wide open in the end zone, as we'll watch on the replay.
9 plays, 62 yards, just inside the end line to the end zone. And Edge found him beautifully, wide open, uncovered.
Now, do you think that if it's a short kick, the Bruins will fall on the ball this time?
Well, I'll bet they will.
You think they heard anything about that during halftime? Or when they were on the sideline?
Of course, you're referring, if they've joined us late, the Phantoms kicked off after their touchdown, and the Bruins failed to cover the ball. They just watched it blow dead, and it never was blown dead. They actually had, all intents and purposes, an onside kick. This is Iverson, who fielded it at the 30-yard line. He will not return this one. And it's a moral victory of sorts for the Phantoms, because Iverson has burned them twice for scores that have counted, and another one that didn't. .5:07 remaining in the third quarter. All tied at 14-all, and it's just as close a game at this point as I had expected and hoped it would be.
Well, neither one of these two teams are going to blow the other one off the field, and it's come down to what everybody thought it would be.
This is Michael Jackson. And Jackson picks up maybe 2, and a late flag, a couple of late flags.
Well, that was number 32, K.C. Doggett, making the stop, but let's see what the call is. Oh, man, that hurt you. You're Bill D on the side. You don't want those kind of penalties.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
And that could be taunting or anything. And of course, they being officials are not going to allow it.
Good defensive effort by the Phantoms to stop Jackson after a very short gain. But then apparently, and I can only assume this, some extra verbal combat, and the officials aren't going to...
Ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Bruins. Now the ball
on the
is
defense. First down.
So instead of having them back at the 34-yard line, they're all the way out to the 49-yard line with a first down. Iverson faking, and he is creamed by, guess who?
T.J. Carrington came in on a blitz from his linebacker spot. He is playing that outside linebacker on the right side. Nobody touched him, and nobody picked him up.
Well, that's great news to see Carrington back in there. He looked like he might have severely injured his arm, and he's back in there and playing as if he was never even nicked. The loss of 9 back to the 40-yard line on the sack. Second down and 19 for the Bruins. This is Michael Jackson, and Jackson gets back most of the 9 yards lost.
But now you got a 3rd and 10. So you have a passing situation with Kozlowski. You can look for a pass, a draw, or a screen. So if you're the coach on the other side, you say, I got 3 options, right? As we see the end of that play, nice run by Jackson to pick up the 9 that they had lost earlier.
The pitch to Jackson. Jackson does not turn the corner. A good effort on the play by 32, Casey Doggett.
I've been calling his name all night. Been just doing an outstanding job from his linebacker spot. And Tim, that's the inside linebacker, and he's making the play outside. That's great pursuit.
Only maybe half a yard on the play.
Right there.
And it brings up a 4th down.
Right there, Maury.
Down at almost 10.
Right there.
Bruins will get the roll here on the play, and the ball will be blown dead at the 13-yard line. Kick from Kevin Melvin. That's easy for me to say.
I want to apologize to young Mr. Colder. It's Kevin Colder. We've been calling him Kevin. It's Kevin. He is the left guard on offense, number 6'8", 6'1", 290 senior. Fine young man. Got to talk with him. He was on part of the pregame show. And we apologize for mispronunciation of the names, which from my side, it comes out a lot of times.
Ours, both yours and mine. So the Phantoms now, after tying the ball game up, will start from their 13-yard line. This is Carrington back in and running the football with renewed vigor.
Hargraves was on the tackle, but he is running like possessed. He gets hit, spins, he doesn't quit.
Pickup of almost 6 on the play. Let's call it 5.5.
Well, or 6.
Call it anything you like. Second down and 5 for the Phantoms. And Carrington gets away from one would-be tackler, but not a second and third, as the Bruins stormed in there. And again, big 99 Hargraves. I got to tell you, he's one of my prime candidates for player of the game.
I tell you, he's done a great job out there, as Jonathan Dean, number 55, from his tackle position on the left side. Both of those young men have been outstanding on defense tonight for the Bruins, along with Allen Iverson with his pickoffs.
Yeah, 2 INTs and 2 punt returns. It's kind of hard to ignore that. Third down and 5 for the Phantoms. The fake and the pitch to Carrington. Carrington trying to turn the corner, and he gets the first down out across the 25-yard line.
Great job by TJ. He had enough real estate that he could string it out with his speed.
That's exactly what they did. They went to the long side of the field and allowed Carrington to use his very fine quickness. Here you'll see it again. The pitch just handles the pitch, almost stumbled as he made the grab. Puts his head down and just bowls over a couple of Bruins on his way to a first down at the 25-yard line.
And that might have been young Mr. Allen Iverson who he went over the top of.
Inside of a minute to go in the third.
Big Dennis, Steve Dennis had the ball, ran right into number 55 for the Bruins. Big 55, that's
Jonathan Dean, the one you were just talking about.
Jonathan Dean, my young man, yes sir.
So a loss of a yard on the play as Dean stops the play cold. We're down inside of 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter. A battle between the Bethel Bruins and the Phoebus Phantoms. A battle for second place in the Peninsula District. Edge with the option, pitches to Carrington. Carrington.
Nice cutback.
Good block, and he gets the first down, or at least close to it.
Tim, that was a beautiful cutback to pick up the seam. The Bruins had spread it out real good, but TJ found that little seam and just where he went. I think that's the end of the third quarter.
And that mark that McCullough gave the ball would not have been a first down, but the linesman picked it up and put it where it's supposed to be.
At the end of the period on
and that became a first down, so that spot is all important as we know. 35-yard line, as they'll change both ends of the field.
35-yard line, 35-yard line.
Get a chance to watch this play again. The pitch, Carrington, and he just drags Bruins to the first down. So we've played 3 quarters, and this game is still very much undecided. And we'll let you watch and listen to the Phoebus cheerleaders. Sure, I told them to make noise and then they stopped.
Well, a little pause there. Kaz got his group over there and said, listen, defensively we got to stop this team. They are moving the ball, and they're running with a little bit of desire because they know that it's the importance of this ball game, especially for the Phantoms. Both teams it's important for. But if Phantoms lose, they're completely out of it. Bethel could lose and still make it to the playoffs.
They'd have to beat Hampton next week. And of course, that game will be Saturday afternoon, the 14th of November, 2 o'clock game time here at Darling Stadium. Tickets are still available, but they're going fast. And I recommend that you get your tickets early if you want a chance to see Hampton and Bethel Saturday, the 14th of November, 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon.
Well, that's straight dive. That's nothing fancy about that one.
Blowing the Bruins back off of their heels as the Phantoms just blew past them for another first down. A Phantom shaken up on the play. That's 73, Harry Lewis, who is the offensive guard on the Phoebus team, and he will be attended to. And hopefully he is only winded.
Well, he's 6 foot 245, senior, but he was tangled up with, guess who? 99, 6'7", 242, Barry Hargraves.
We'll watch the play again and see if we can find out what might have happened there. It happened behind the play. But there you see, almost as if it were a rugby scrum. The Phantoms just moving the Bruins back. There you see the time remaining in the fourth quarter and the score. Just again to recap for you how the playoff situation looks. 2 Southside teams are assured berths, and should Hampton win against Ferguson Saturday night, they will be assured a 3rd berth in the Eastern Regional Playoffs. There are several teams battling for that 4th spot, and these 2 teams that you're watching tonight are primary contenders. The Bruins, as you said, should they win tonight, their hopes are very much alive. Should the Phantoms lose tonight, their hopes would be completely dashed from any possibility, I understand. And I never say never in the world of high school football. but it would appear that Phoebus's situation would become a no-win situation should they lose this game.
No-win situation.
So Harry Lewis is off on his own steam. Hopefully he'll be able to return. Back to the live action now at the 49-yard line. First down for the Phantoms. This is Carrington, right side, and Carrington gets a couple of yards.
Well, Tim, it's not anything fancy. They're just basically lining up in the eye, and they're giving the ball to TJ, and he's going to either the right or the left, depending on the blocking scheme, and then he's trying to pick out a seam. They're not in the eye bone where they have three ball backs in a row. He is spreading out the defense a little bit, sending out a wide receiver. He being Coach D. Now they're in the eye bone.
Carrington, third man through, and Carrington has another first down.
And he finally stopped.
39-yard line.
Finally stopped by number 43 and number 11. 11 being Xavier Gunn. 43 for the Bruins is Wilton Evans. That's a defensive end, but that's way down the field. You want your defensive end linebacker to tackle close to the line of scrimmage.
Here you see Carrington getting good blocking from that offensive line, finding a big hole, and then he just does an awful lot of this on his own.
Well, Tim, this drive started back at what, about the 13-yard line, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. Been a long time-consuming and yardage-consuming drive, and it's crucial for the Phantoms that they get some points out of this. The workhorse, Carrington, the ball carrier, as you might have expected.
And right at the bottom of the pile, big number 99, Barry Hargraves. But Carrington is getting hit and is picking up additional yardage. Now's the time where you fake that dive, go up on top with a pass. You got a speedster in Maury Price, number 27. Let's see what happens.
22 carries for 136 yards unofficially for Carrington. Make that 23 and take away some of his yardage because he is sacked.
That was a great job by number 43, Wilton Evans. I mean, he had Carrington, it was not going to let go of him.
Jonathan Dean, your number 55, Bob, again in on the stop as well. So a loss on the play.
That brings up third and long.
Here you see the Bruins just strung it out, and then, as you mentioned, number 43, Wilton Evans, there among others. Ball is marked at the 41-yard line, so it's third down and 13 for the Phantoms, and a huge third down coming up. We're inside of 9 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, the Phantoms have got a wide out and a slot, and they're going to go past.
And Torrey Edge falls down on a slick spot at midfield. A flag is down, however. Let's wait and see what this is all about.
Well, it's back at the line of scrimmage, so it could be either offside or holding.
Holding the defense.
Oh, a huge break for the Phantoms as they were looking at a fourth and long, fourth and about 22, and now holding at the line of scrimmage.
Ooh, what a big play. Big penalty.
See if we can pick it up. Probably not. It's very difficult to pick out the holding, but that's the call against the Bruins. And after
holding on the defense from the end of run. Penalized from the end of run. Repeat the down. Third down.
So that is not as severe as it could have been. I was thinking it would be from the line of scrimmage, but it was from the end of the run, which was a substantial loss. So in essence, all they did was gain back 10 yards, but more importantly, they repeat the down. So they are very much alive here with a third down and about 11 versus a fourth down and 22.
Yeah, here you go.
So again, a very big third down call for the Phantoms. Edge feeling pressured, throws it, got a man wide open. This is Carrington. And he is down to the 8-yard line. T.J. Carrington catching for the first down.
And that was a design play. He waited till the last minute to throw the ball. He had to wait for T.J. to clear and open in that zone, and that's exactly what he did. He being Tory Edge, what a nice play. Watch this, because he gets a lot of pressure. And he hits as he's thrown, and there comes young Mr. Carrington across the middle. And a saving touchdown by number 33 for the Bruins. That's Brandon Chenault, the 9th grader.
First and goal at the 8-yard line. And Edge is sacked.
That's number 76. You got to watch out. You're celebrating. You don't want to get that's Lamont Williams, big 222 guard, plays that inside guard for the Bruins.
Watch this again as he just came right up the middle, and Edge never had an opportunity to turn around or throw or run with the ball. He was caught dead in his tracks. And the ball is all the way out to the 15-yard line, second and goal.
Dennis got the ball that time, but there was no space for him to run. Big number 58 was the first one in there. That's linebacker Sean Robinson, the 5'11" senior for the Bruins. Third, and is that goal? Yes, because he started inside the 10. That's correct. So the ball is 3rd and 15 to make a touchdown. So if you're Bethel,
I was just going to say,
they got a good field goal kicker in his range, but you also have to be aware of young Mr. Avery, the tight end who caught an earlier touchdown pass in a similar situation.
Jeff Herman has 7 field goals this season, so let's not discount that. Carrington inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. So now we will see Jeff Herman, number 80, come on to try a field goal, or at least it would appear that he will. He has kicked 2 field goals in 3 different games this season and 1 in another for a total of 7 field goals. And again, I cannot, and I don't want to overdo this, but I can't thank the Daily Press enough for giving me these statistics. I've got him as kicking a 30-yarder, a 27-yarder. This will be
a 30-yarder.
A 30-yarder, and it'll come from left of the goal. Herman's kick is up. It's long enough. It is no good.
It went to the left. He pulled it a little bit, just hooked it.
So Herman had been very successful with field goals of 30, 27, 27.
First and 10, Bethel on the 20-yard line. 20-yard line.
34, and this time just couldn't get it in there. Had plenty of distance on the ball, but shanked it to the left. And the score remains 14-all. Now, we got a little paper in here somewhere that tells us about overtime.
And I will get to that point.
All right, because we got a whole, that's a whole interesting story in itself. We'll tell you about that as time develops. Michael Jackson trying to make it a totally irrelevant point of overtime as he gets out to the 24-yard line.
Well, if we end up tied at the end of regulation, then there will be about a 10-minute period of time where the teams can regroup. They will flip a coin. One team will take the ball at the 10-yard line. They got 4 plays to score. Then the other team has the same opportunity. So that's the way you break the tie. And you keep going back and forth until after both teams have had possession. Whoever's got the most points wins the contest.
Again, I want to remind the fans we did not have a winner on our contest earlier in the season about the question, the trivia question we asked you. So if you'll mail us a postcard to Channel 5, WHCS 1819, as Iverson gets the first down. 1819 Nickerson Boulevard, Hampton. What's the zip code over there, Bob?
23663.
23663. 1819 Nickerson Boulevard. That's all you got to do. mail us a postcard to Channel 5, 1819 Dickerson Boulevard. And if your name is drawn out of the hat during the Hampton-Bethel game, you will win this beautiful extra large sweater that we have as a special prize for whoever is our winner. First down for the Bruins. This is Jackson, and Jackson is stopped beautifully by number 79. That is L.J. Jones. Check that. That's Theron Pridgeon. I started to say it was Jones. That's Pridgeon, 5'9", 250, just a sophomore.
They got some pretty good sized young men on it. L.J. Jones is 6'2", 300, so it's easy to get mixed up, and there's only one number difference in their jersey.
Here's the replay. Here you saw Jackson, and he just could not get out of the grasp of the tackler. And it brings up a second and long. Second down and 11. Iverson fakes, wants to throw. Gaskell is well covered on the pattern. He was by no means open. Good defensive coverage by Larry Hardy, number 82 for the Phantoms.
I think if Chris would have kept on running and not stopped and looked back for the ball, Allen would have gotten the ball to him. Yeah. And, you know, it's easy to sit up here and see that. But that could have been a difference right there. Number 7 for the Bruins is in, Tim, and a whitest uniform out there. That's Cameron Kirk.
Jackson stopped in his tracks. The ball comes loose. There's a fumble.
They're calling it down. I think he's calling it down.
Well, no, one official.
No, okay, I'm sorry. Well, he did call it down.
Phoebus on the ground. Can't run with the game. Can't run with the ball. Can't run with it. First down.
Big break for the Phantoms.
Probably heard Nick McCullough, the referee, tell you that the ball was recovered on the ground. They could not pick it up and run with it. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. The ball is knocked loose and a mad scramble for the ball. It's recovered, but while on the ground, the recovery made by the Phantoms cannot advance the ball.
Tim, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I'm going to have to go down on the field pretty soon, but we need to come to some sort of a conclusion with our players of the game. The Bruins, we've got Allen Iverson, Michael Jackson, Barry Hargrave, Jonathan Dean, just to name a few. On Phantoms, we got Casey Doggett, Ron Hill, Troy Edge, and of course T.J. Carrington.
Well, in all honesty, I feel like we have to hold off determining one of the players of the game to see how the outcome of this game goes. I mean, really, you know, certainly the player who might be most instrumental.
Well, I'm kind of leaning towards the defensive players tonight. It seems that they have been coming up with the big plays.
Might be all irrelevant here. We've got movement from both sides of the ball, but let's see who jumped first. It looked like Bethel may have.
Not in first.
I had 93 broke the zone before he lifted his head.
We got on defense.
Well, that's what they're going to say is the Bruin jumped into the zone first.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense.
That was a real nice point of having that wireless mic on Nick McCullough. What they said is 93 or whomever, I don't want to single out any player, but the defensive player broke the zone before the Phoebus player left his three-point stance. So it's now second down and 2 after the 5-yard penalty against the Bruins. And a first down inside the 15. T.J. Carrington, as you might imagine, the ball carrier.
Well, Tim, we're getting down to crunch time. We got 2:16 to go in the game, and I'm getting ready to go down. I'm going to tell you who I'm going to go for, and then we'll make a decision after that. Barry Hargrave for the Bruins is who I'm going for. I think defensively he's done a great job tonight. It was between him and Jonathan Dean. And for the Phantoms, I'm going with Casey Doggett, the linebacker on the other side. So you think about that and let me know what you think.
Carrington down inside the 10-yard line again with 1:47 remaining. 2 timeouts for the Bruins, 3 for the Phantoms. Neither team using timeouts at this point. The ball is just inside the 10-yard line, well within Jeff Herman's range of a field goal should that become a necessity. Second down and about 7 for the Phantoms. Again, Carrington bursts through the middle. He's down inside the 5 to the 2-yard line. Bob, I don't know if you have your earpiece on or not. I think you do. I got to give my vote to Carrington for the Phoebus Phantoms. He has been a workhorse all night. I grant you, and I will agree with your point that the defense has been superior, but Carrington has been just phenomenal. He's got 27 carries for 148 yards, and he has been mainly the reason why the Phantoms have a chance to win this ball game. Edge, the carry, no signal. Yes, now they do. A 2-yard touchdown from Corey Edge. That's Torrey with a T, coming with 1:01 remaining in regulation. Herman will try the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Phantoms take a 7-point lead with just 1:01 remaining. Bob, go ahead.
Well, Tim, down here on the field, it's really damp and it's very slick, and it's even further proof how well T.J. Carrington has done. I'm going to go with you. We'll go with T.J. for the player of the game from the Phantoms. He's just had an outstanding game. I'm still going with Barry Hargraves for the Bruins. I'll let you help me on that decision.
All right, I'll go with you on that. That's fine. And certainly it was not an easy decision because with Iverson's 2 interceptions and 2 long runs for touchdowns, he was a natural choice. But yeah, I think the Bruin defense led by Hargraves, and certainly the defense doesn't get the notoriety most of the time, did a great job. But yeah, I agree with you on that, and I certainly agree with the Carrington choice for the Phoebus player of the game. The touchdown, he set up the first touchdown, if you recall, with that great reverse of field for 33 yards, and then that led to the 11-yard pass from Edge to Avery for their first score. Price with the other touchdown for the Phantoms, a 23-yarder, as the Phantoms had trailed 14-7 and have come on with 14 consecutive points now.
Tim, I've got a little flash for you.
All right.
They've been kicking it to the right, and if you'll notice that Allen Iverson is going over there, they may just in turn squib it to the left.
They want to keep it away from Allen. They are sure of that. They're going to end up kicking it out of bounds. And the 1:01 will remain on the clock because that does not change until a offensive player touches the ball. So illegal procedure,
Illegal procedure, kicking team. All right.
We'll have to wait and see. They can take it at the 35, or they can have Phoebus re-kick it.
They're going to take it up onto the 35, Tim, which is smart on Bruins. No time went off the clock, so you got 1:01. A lot of time for an explosive team, and you can look for Allen Iverson.
Illegal procedure, kicking team declined. Ball's on the 35-yard line. First down.
You know he's going to be scrambling. He's going to be looking for his wide receivers. Phoebus wants a timeout. They want to get organized. They want to make sure their defense knows what to do, and there's no blown assignments.
Number 7 called that timeout. That should be 1 Phoebus. Should be 1 for Phoebus.
Again, we remind you, if you're watching this game live Friday night, Saturday night here at Darling Stadium, Hampton will entertain Ferguson, and Ferguson with that explosive passing attack could cause problems for the Crabbers. Crabbers fighting to get into the Eastern Regionals at a higher level. If they beat Ferguson, they will automatically clinch a berth in the Eastern Regionals. But unless they should reach the 2nd position or better, they will not host in the first round of the Eastern Regionals. So the 4 teams involved from the East will be Norcom, Lake Taylor, I believe it is, and then Hampton, or Phoebus, or Bethel, or whomever. But it's still very much up. And this possible victory by the Phantoms will keep their hopes alive, and they certainly will make Bethel's chances that much tougher. And of course, Bethel has that big game next Saturday afternoon here at Darling Stadium. Tickets still available for that 2 o'clock game between the Crabbers and the Bruins, the annual battle for the championship of the city of Hampton between these two teams at least. And of course Bethel, Phoebus and Kecoughtan having great seasons as well. Iverson flagged down. Iverson trying to get away from the rush. Wants to throw, spots a man and throws it. A flag down. Flags all over the place.
Tim, we have a holding call down here on the first flag, which is at about the 27, and the other flag looked like pass interference, so these could be offsetting, which means you lost 11 seconds on the clock.
Illegal use of the hands on the offense. Defensive pass interference. They wipe each other out. We replay the down.
See, that really hurts Bethel because they lost 11 seconds. You've got 2 timeouts for the Bruins, and of course, every time they make a first down, they will stop the clock.
Get a chance to watch the replay. You'll see Iverson scrambling. There you saw the hold in there. The hold committed on number 85, and then Iverson will throw downfield on the run, and you'll see the interference, or at least the very end of that, of the flag fly for that offsetting penalty call. Iverson straight drop back over the middle, and it's a gain of about 7 out to the 42-yard line. Pass completed to number 7, Debrick Kirk, as you mentioned, Bobby, came in.
Tim, they had to call timeout. They should have got the first down. That would have stopped the clock, but you got 27 seconds.
Just 27 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, or at least in regulation. And again, this game is never over with Allen Iverson on the field and with his explosive speed. You know, we want to make a plea for volunteers. If you have extra time on your hands, here's a great way to help out your community. The Hampton Parks and Recreation Department's Senior Recreation Services is soliciting for volunteer dancers for the Snowflake Christmas Dance on December 10th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Northampton Community Center. Please call Cheryl at 727-1978 for further information for you that would like to volunteer. Bob, I'm going to call and volunteer you. I think you'd make a great snowflake dancer. You don't mind if I call, do you?
I'm picking up a whole lot of static. I'm not picking you up real good. I'm picking up a lot of noise down here on the field, Tim.
Well, that's why I just volunteered you to be a snowflake dancer in the Christmas dance. Iverson spots Kelly Rogers inside the 50. First time tonight that Iverson has looked for and thrown the ball to Kelly Rogers. Of course, Rogers instrumental in that 20-19 victory over the Phantoms last year. Rogers steps out of bounds, stopping the clock with 20 seconds remaining. And the Bruins desperately trying to get the play away before they have too much time called. Of course, the clock stopped when he went out of bounds. Iverson has some running room. He's always dangerous when he does. And he is knocked out of bounds inside the 40 at about the 38-yard line. T.J. Carrington coming up to make the stop. 12 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Bruins down by 7.
Tim, you're at the point right now where you've got to get close to the end zone, but if you make a reception, you got to get out of bounds and stop that clock.
Iverson looking, throwing, throws long, and perfect timing by the defense. No, a late flag comes down. A late flag coming down looked like a good defensive play, but the official right on top of the call. Now that will not be at that point. If it is interference, it'll be 15 from the
defensive
line of
pass
scrimmage.
Interference on the defense.
Well, Tim, that's
first
a big
down
call, but if you look on the clock, you got 5 seconds left. You've got to put the ball in the end zone. Also remember, the play cannot stop on a defensive foul. So if there's a foul, no time on the clock, they will play one more play.
So the Bruins stay alive.
Defensive pass interference, automatic first down.
5 seconds remaining The Bruins with one timeout, and they will use that
Timeout,
timeout
Bethel. That's their
now.
last timeout.
You might as well use it because it's not going to do you any good after 5 seconds. Nice call by Coach Kozlowski. If he's got a play that is a little different, has got some wrinkles that nobody's seen, maybe a delay or something of a back coming out of the backfield or an end or something, but you got to get it in the end zone. Now's the time to come up with it.
Looking just a little bit further ahead than may be necessary, we do want to remind the viewers that there is the 2-point conversion in high school ball. So the Bruins, should they be able to get into the end zone, could go for the win if they chose to. Although with the overtime shootout, if you will, they would probably opt for the safe situation and then go for the shootout. But that's probably irrelevant at this point because they've got to get into the end zone to begin with.
Well, Tim, they're lining up with trip receivers to the right-hand side. They being the Bruins. Somebody's got to be open in the backfield, and that's what they're looking for.
Likely the last play of the ball game. Iverson throws it up for grabs, and it's too long. A flag is down, however.
We got a flag. We got a flag, Tim. No, we got a flag. It is.
It is.
And it's against the Phantoms, is what I told you. The play cannot stop.
Roughing the passer. Roughing the passer. We're
Oh,
gonna have a play.
big call as a 15-yarder.
So the Bruins are still alive with no time on the clock. The roughing the passer call, we'll watch it on the replay. Let's see if we can pick it up. You're going to see Iverson here just throw the ball, and we couldn't tell from that if he was roughed, but the official made that determination. It will be half the distance to the goal line, and they'll have one more play.
Tim, that's half the distance to the goal line.
Now the Phantoms will call their last timeout. Now, excuse me, they have one more after this, but they'll certainly call the last timeout they would have available to them or ever needed this regulation. But the Bruins are still alive. The ball at the 12-yard line on the roughing the passer call as time ran out. Well, it doesn't get any more exciting than this, or at least you wouldn't think it would, but we invite you to be sure and attend the high school games remaining. And Hampton next week against Bethel. We'll be right back to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of this game after a brief timeout. One last. Are we back on, Scotty? No time remaining. One last play. The Bruins, Iverson gets away from a would-be sack. He throws in the end zone. Touchdown! They have got the 6 points.
All right, now, Tim, you got a situation. Bethel's field goal or point after kicker did not do well the first time. I look for the Bruins to go for 2.
Alfred Terrell on the receiving end of the pass from Allen Iverson. When it looked like they were out of any possibility of tying this ball game, a roughing the passer call on the final play of regulation time gave the Bruins one last try, and they will go for 2 right here for the victory. Iverson straight back, looking, wants to throw. He'll run for the corner. He will not get in. He will not get in. The extra point try is no good, and the Phantoms have won.
No point after touchdown.
invite you to stay tuned because Bob will make his way down to the field for some post-game comments with some of the players and coaches. But boy, what an exciting conclusion to this ball game as the Bruins had the chance, went for two, and Iverson came up a yard short. Here's a replay of the touchdown. The touchdown pass to set up the extra point try. Iverson throwing to Terrell, and Terrell with a defender all over him. But then the two-point attempt comes up short. Second year in a row that the margin of victory is 1 point. Last year, the Bruins with the 1 point victory.
Hey, Tim.
Yes, Bob.
I got Coach Bill D here. Coach, I've never seen a game that has so much excitement as when you two teams get together.
It's just, it's one of those series. Kids, it was a playoff game. I'm so proud of these kids. We came, when we're down with 1 touchdown in the second half, they showed their character. It's a big, hey, Mom!
Tim, I tried to get some comments, but let me talk to Bill over here off the camera. TJ got hurt. He hurt an arm or something. When he came back.
Can't keep that kid down. You can't measure the kid's heart. Everybody, I tell you what, we played together as a team, played hard. Even when we had adversity, at the end, we stopped the 2-point conversion. Hey, you can't get better than that.
You can't. Congratulations on a fine win,
Thank
Coach.
you, I appreciate it.
Okay.
And my sentiments exactly. Congratulations to Bill D and his team for a tremendously hard-fought victory over a very good Bethel Bruins team. Coach Kozlowski and his group have to be very disappointed. Go ahead, Bob.
Tim, I got KC Doggett. Talked to you earlier in the week. Didn't know I'd get to see you again, but you did a great job on defense.
Thank you, sir. I had to do it. Everybody had to step up, play better. We did it.
Well, I tell you, the whole team did a good job. I'm not just saying Phoebus, but Phoebus and Bethel both played good, but you guys made, when you were behind, you came out and did what you had to do.
Yes, sir. That's what Coach teaches. Come out, give it 100%, 110 if you got to.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank
Congratulations on a fine win.
Thank you.
Okay. Tim, let's go back up to you, and I'll see if I can get somebody else.
All right, Bob. What I started to say was I want to congratulate Dennis Kozlowski and his group over at Bethel High School. A tremendous game on their part. They never gave up. They never stopped. They fought right down until the very last, tied the game up with no time remaining on the clock, and just came up short for the 2-point conversion. A gutsy try for 2 points.
Tim, I've got Maury Price here. Maury, you were so open on that touchdown pass. Did you make a move and the defensive man just lost you? What happened?
Nah, the coach was telling Torrey to read Bubba Chuck because Bubba Chuck was reading Torrey's eyes. And the first pump Torrey gave, Bubba Chuck would bite. And that made me wide open on the post.
Well, you did a great job because you caught that and came down and then bounced out of the end zone.
Thank you.
But that was a great job. You guys got a lot to be proud of tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, good enough. Well, nice having you talk with us.
Yeah, we're going to get a chance, Bob, up here in the booth to see the touchdown catch. Maury Price's catch. Great job from our crew to line that one up for us, and we got a chance to see.
Hey, Tim, I got the young quarterback here for the Phoebus, Torrey Edge. Torrey, you just did a great job of calling the plays tonight, but it was not an easy game.
No, their defense rose to the occasion, and our defense rose to the occasion. We came to play, and at the end, it just everything fell into place. We refused to lose. We came out here knowing we weren't going to lose. We didn't die.
Well, you had 2 touchdown passes, one to Avery, one to Maury. That was a great job of getting Bubba Chuck to follow your eyes on the pump.
He was following my eyes all night, and coaches was telling me, even on the sidelines, like the one to Tony, he was just reading. I got him on the play fake, and on the one in the end zone back here, that was the big turning point in the game right there when we tied it up. He thought I was going to. We ran a play earlier too. I hit Ron Hill at the beginning of the game. he's thinking the same thing. I hit more on the
Well,
post.
I know you got a special play for TJ when you passed to him. Was that the one that was called down here?
It was 9 tailback leak, and we ran against Hampton, so we didn't run it for a couple of weeks, and Coach called it, and it was wide open. Flicked it to him, and
Fantastic.
got the job done.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I got TJ. I want to get TJ. I tell you, this young man is not only happy, a little bit tired. TJ, let me first of all, you went off, looked like you'd hurt your arm or wrist or something.
I hurt this part of my, I don't know what it is, this part of my arm. And I just want to get back in the game, so I just put in my mind that it didn't hurt.
Well, listen, you not only did a fantastic job offensively, got well over 100 yards, and I'm not sure how many yards you had, but defensively, you made some nice defensive plays tonight.
Yes, sir. It was like this game, I said, we weren't going to lose regardless. It had to be a team effort, but I said if nobody else didn't want to step up, I was going to step up and be the person to do it. And I was just trying to make all the right plays at the right time.
Well, you did that. You and I talked earlier today, and I brought you over a shirt. And what did I say? You think you can get another one tonight?
Yes, sir.
You got one. You are again the player of the game. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And we'll talk to you probably one day next week.
Yes,
okay, sir. Tim, let's go back up to you.
All right, a bunch of happy Phoebus Phantoms. Bill D and his staff, a tremendous effort on both sides of the ball tonight. No losers on this field tonight. The Bruins did everything but win, and the Phantoms did the job, got that one extra point, and won the ball game 21-20. And boy, was it as exciting as you could possibly get here on Channel 5. Your high school football sports channel. We'll have another good one for you next Saturday afternoon. We'll be here at Darling for the game between the Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins to wrap up the regular season. It will be a great one. Tickets are still available. Get them while you can. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole and the entire crew. The final score again, the Phoebus Phantoms 21, the Bethel Bruins 20. Good night, everybody.
Well, good evening. I'm going to be your halftime announcer tonight. Our young ladies are indisposed tonight. I'm Bob Hintz, so this is your Channel 5 halftime extravaganza.
That's one fucking play out of the half. They're talking like they're doing it every play. To me, it didn't affect the snap at all. They snapped the ball.
As you see, taking the field is the Phoebus High School Marching Phantom Band under the direction of Mr. Al Morse. The drum major, Rico Lacote, Solomon King, and Charla Keeler. Oh, there you see, that's a good look at them. Their performances will include a pop melody arranged by Mr. Morse, including tunes from Bobby Brown and Arrested Development, a drum featuring the Kilowatt Dance, and the Phoebus Fight Song. Now, let's get ready and groove with the Phoebus High School Marching Band. High School Band is in the PHS. The initials for Phoebus High School Phantom Band. Channel 5 invites you to watch next week when we will showcase another talented Hampton High School band. I am Bob Hinn saying good evening for halftime at Darling Stadium.